Hey guys, this week we were asked to discuss women and the American Revolution. For this topic, I decided to look into Abigail Adams. Some people actually believe that she might have been an early feminist because of the things that she did while married to John Adams. Their marriage actually lasted 54 years, and it lasted until her death in 1818. But of course, there were many years that they were actually separated, and that was because of John Adams and some of the duties that he pursued at the time. Early in their marriage, he was a lawyer, and he had to travel through the circuit court system of the time. And beginning in 1774, he was a member of the Continental Congress, and he was gone from the Massachusetts area uh, for much of the year in Philadelphia. And he was also charged to be a diplomat, and he spent some time negotiating in Paris for the Franco American Alliance of 1778. The reason why some people believe that she might have been a feminist is because uh, she actually became a farmer. Uh, so she actually managed the family farm, and she also was into land speculation and also a merchant. At one point, she decided to stop farming, and in order to make ends meet, she actually sold items that John would actually send her from either Philadelphia or Paris. And of course, she couldn't actually sell these items directly, so she went through people that you would consider an agent that would actually sell these items for her, because at the time, uh, it was kind of frowned upon for women to actually sell items themselves. And I think this is where a lot of people actually might consider that, well, she was kind of a proto feminist, which is probably further from the truth. She actually was not a feminist, and the only reason why she became a merchant or a land speculator or actually managed a family farm was for one reason only, and that was for family. At the time, she was basically the only person that was actually making money for the family to survive, because the income that they did receive from John when he was uh, a member of the Continental Congress, that was one of the means of funds that they received, and of course, it wasn't exactly uh, how would I would put it? It wasn't on a regular basis, basically. I guess is what I'm looking the word I'm looking for. Um, of course, payment from the Continental Congress was probably not very reliable. Even the soldiers during the Revolutionary War weren't really paid that well and that often. So receiving money was kind of a hardship. And so this is why she did all these things, because she wanted to take care of her family and they needed the money, essentially. And of course, I think also uh, one of the letters that she wrote to her husband John, uh, when I believe he was in Philadelphia, he actually wrote him a letter dated March 31st, 1776, and she asked about the Declaration of Independence, and when the country actually declared independence, that when they were writing the laws of the land, not to forget about the women. Basically, she said, "Remember the ladies." And so some people actually thought, well, she was actually asking for civil rights for women at the time, which again is not true. Uh, she wasn't asking about civil rights. She was asking about uh, certain laws that would actually recognize uh, women as far as in marriage. Because at the time, husbands were the ones that controlled everything as far as money and the household, and whatever women had for property, which they really couldn't really own, but whatever they actually had, uh, the husband owned. Even the clothes on her back and also her body, essentially. And she was asking John to, well, pass some laws that would recognize that if a husband leaves the wife for whatever reason, that she would be protected under the law. So, she would actually have some form of property or some means of support when the husband was gone, whether the husband died or just simply left her. And of course, John responded by saying, well, regarding that proposal, all I could do was laugh about it, basically. And although he was trying to make a joke out of it, he actually did understand what she was coming from, and he also seriously thought about civil rights for women as well. In fact, I think he was actually contemplating granting women voting rights. And of course, nothing came through about that, but I believe he was actually considering it at the time. As far as being a feminist, I really don't think Abigail Adams was. She actually was quite comfortable in the role of being a domestic, as far as the role, the traditional role of the wife, actually taking care of the household, doing the laundry and things like that. She really felt uncomfortable when she actually had to uh, manage a farm and do things that weren't normally the role of a woman. She really wasn't very comfortable with those things, even though she did manage and she actually did increase the wealth of the family, including property. There was a story uh, of Abigail actually buying, I believe, 1,600 acres in Vermont. And the reason why she bought it was for John Adams. She thought, well, it'd be a great place for us to retire. We could build a retreat there. And of course, John was really against it. He really didn't want to live in Vermont. But as far as being a feminist, I don't believe she was. And there were lots of things she said in letters that would actually, give you that impression that she was very comfortable with whatever the traditional role of women were. Thank you for listening.